Good evening and welcome to Prime of Midlife. It's Monday evening, it is almost 7:30 and I have just walked in the door. And that's why this evening we are discussing why the sandwich generation is struggling. Now, as you know, channel is called Prime of Midlife. I am in my midlife. Actually getting towards the tail end of it, not quite 60 yet. But still, working, helping, doing things. And I'm like, today has just shown me how wrong that is. We've got all this information coming at us, pay into your pension, do this, do that. Now, when my mum was young, I shall just lean on Jeffrey. When my mum was younger and her mum started to age and ended up in a care home, Mum was still working. Was she? No, Mum wasn't working by that time. But Mum didn't really have to do anything for her mum. My gran was in Paisley. We didn't really see that much of her anyway. So Mum had Kathleen and I, only child and only grandchild, and Dad, and that was our little family. At the moment, for me, and I know this is a self-pity, and I don't mean it to be a self-pity, but it's the easiest way to try and tell you. I have my daughter who's grown up. I don't really need to do anything with her. But I have my parents. My father, who died a couple of years ago, but he was in a care home. And I had to go and deal with selling their home. When Mum went into a care home, I had to deal with social services. I had to deal with the council. I had to deal with everything like that. And it's not something that we're warned about. It's not something that we're prepared for. Because our grandparents, or in some cases great-grandparents, because remember I'm, older, people didn't have to deal with that. They didn't survive that long. But what's happening now is because, like my parents, people who are in their 70s, 80s, that used to be highly unusual when the pension was first dreamt up. And now it's people in their 60s who are looking after them in their home until they can't look after them anymore. But no, being funny, I thought when I was in my 60s I could be like my mum. She took early retirement. She had a fabulous 15, 20 years nearly of enjoying her retirement. At this rate, I'm going to be burnt out in the next 6 months because I'm still working, still trying to pay a mortgage, still trying to look after my mum now, who, as you know, just went into a new care home today. That was not a joyful experience. She doesn't want to be there. She's threatening all sorts. So obviously my stress levels are through the roof. But as I was driving back from the care home, I'm like, is this it? Is this what my life's going to be? I am going to be running around after my mum, still working, doing all the paperwork and dealing with the council, dealing with the care home, doing all this until I drop. And that can't be right. It cannot be that when Kathleen gets to my age that she's running about looking after me. And don't get me wrong, I do agree. I think that, yes, children should look after their parents, and I did. I was up there every day in life for years, making sure mum and dad were all right, helping them with paperwork and doing all the stuff. When mum said she couldn't have dad home from the hospital because she couldn't take care of him, it was me that took him to the care home. It was me that went and visited him. And then mum decided that she needed looked after. So I was looking after mum, and then I moved in with mum. But she actually wanted someone to be with her for 24 hours, but I had a job. I know, I'm rambling. But do you see what I'm getting at? People our age and younger, we're not going to have a retirement. We're never going to stop. And I think that's wrong, because I think when people age and they get to a certain stage, I think they should be looked after, not just by the family, but by social care. And I think the government needs to look at putting a lot more money into social care, because there's not that many young people coming up anymore. There's still a whole lot of my parents' generation left and a whole lot of my generation left. And I don't want Kathleen to give up her life to look after me. I want to be able to stop, relax, enjoy my twilight years, and make sure that Kathleen's set, that she's happy. I don't want her running around after me. Certainly not if I get dementia. I don't see the point. So yeah, my head's mince, as you can tell. I haven't eaten in hours. So I'm going to go and put on Jeffrey and have some fish and chips probably, and probably a drink. So yeah, sandwich generation. Not a lot of fun right now. Catch you later.